guys, so if you're here on this video, you have purchased a pumpkin trio kit from us, whether it's from our Etsy page, our website, shophandmadehome.com, or the Made by Pinners website. So if you have a pumpkin trio, you're in the right place, and I'm gonna show you how to do it. So super cute, the cutest little pumpkin trio. The little pumpkin is gonna be the orange polka dots. You'll have a floral pumpkin and then the black check pumpkin. So that is what we're gonna make. So easy. Everything comes in your kit. The only thing that you might need, a pair of scissors, maybe a gift card or like a debit card, something to kind of smooth your pumpkin down. And then your hot glue gun. So I already have mine plugged in. It is getting warm as we speak. So I'm going to unbox my stuff. If you want to grab your box, and we can do it together. So you have 3 pumpkins, a little container with some supplies, a little sponge brush, and 3 pieces of paper. So I'm gonna open up my supplies. This little container is this Mod Podge. You have a piece of sandpaper and then 3 little buttons. Oh, and your kit should have some raffia. So I'm gonna grab some in just a second. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up my Mod Podge. And you're gonna use a little sponge brush. So if you wanna do your pumpkins all at the same time, you can, or if you wanna do them all separate, start to finish, then you can. But just for time purposes, I'm gonna do them all mine at the same time. So the check paper goes on the big, the floral paper goes on the medium, and then the polka dot paper goes on the small. Or if you have any other papers, you can grab them online or at Hobby Lobby. So if you want different prints, then that is totally up to you. It's just a fun little easy project. So I'm just gonna go ahead and dip my brush in the Mod Podge, and I'm just gonna do kind of, not a thick layer, but it's like a good layer of Mod Podge over the whole surface. So you don't want it too thick because your paper could bubble, but you don't want it too thin either. Okay, so I'm gonna finish the first pumpkin, and then I'm gonna go ahead and set my paper on top. And I'm just gonna smooth it, oh, you can't see. I'm just gonna smooth it down. So sometimes people like to use the card instead. I'm just gonna use my hand, but if you do have a gift card, you can kind of smooth that down too. Just like that. Okay, I'm gonna set this aside, let it air dry a little, and I'm gonna do my next pumpkin. So same thing, dip your brush in the Mod Podge, and then just kind of a medium layer of Mod Podge over it. Not too thick, not too thin. Mine kind of looks, oh, you can't see with the glare. It's definitely covered, but it's not like dripping off the sides. So on the medium pumpkin, I'm going to use the floral paper. And then I'm just gonna push down, just like I did before. Make sure that the whole pumpkin is covered by the paper. And if you want to use your card to smooth out some of the bubbles, you can. And it's okay if there are some bubbles. Whenever it dries, they kind of like air out a little bit. So I wouldn't really be worried about it if it were me. Okay, I'm gonna set that one aside, and then I'm gonna move on to the last pumpkin. I'm gonna do the small pumpkin, and then that is with the orange polka dot paper. Okay, and then set your paper on your pumpkin, smooth down. Set that one aside. I'm going to get my big pumpkin. It's still a little bit wet, so if you want to blow dry your trio of pumpkins, you can. that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, my pumpkins are dry, so I'm gonna grab the little piece of sandpaper out of my bag. And what we do is we just sand. You can kind of press down. If you've pushed hard around the side of your edges of your pumpkin, you can kind of see the line of the edge. And you're just gonna use your little sandpaper piece and you're just gonna sand that edge all the way around. And then you'll be able to just kind of snap that paper off. So it should just break off like that. The curved pieces are a little bit tricky, so you can kind of tear your paper a little bit, and then you can, I kind of fold my sandpaper around my finger just like this, and then you can kind of go in there like this. And then your little pieces of paper will just fall off. Just like that. Super cute. I'm gonna set that aside and I'm just gonna do the other two. Okay, so all of my edges are sanded on my pumpkin. I'm just gonna let my brush set aside. You are gonna use it again in a second, so don't throw it away or rinse it off quite yet. You'll just use it. Here, we'll just use it in a second. So what we like to do is while your glue gun is heating up, we're going to do a little bit of Mod Podge around the edge. So if you're worried about any of your edges lifting, we just kind of go around the side. On the top and on the edges, so that if you have any lifting, we can just make sure that those corners and edges stay down. So not too thick, definitely a light invisible layer all the way around. So really thin. We don't normally do the middle, but if you want to do the whole thing, then that's totally up to you. I'm gonna do my next pumpkin. My last pumpkin. So on this one, it has lifted a little bit on the edge. So I'm just gonna make sure that I do that corner or that edge really good. Okay, so you can let that air dry. If you'd like to blow dry it, you can, but it typically takes just a minute or two. Like my black and white plaid one's already dry. So I'm gonna show you how to do the raffia. You should have quite a few, like 3 or 4 pieces of raffia. So we like to shred them apart a little bit so they look more full whenever you tie them on. So you can kind of see just like that. So I'm just gonna take one little piece and I'm just gonna pull it apart just a couple times. Just like that. I'm gonna kind of grab it in the middle. I'm gonna set, just like you're tying a shoe, you're just gonna set the raffia behind it, and then I'm just gonna do like a simple little knot. Oops. Just like you're tying a shoe. Once you get the knot tied, I kind of pull the ends down so that my loops are more rounded, I guess. And it's okay if it is a little bit loose. We're gonna use the hot glue so you can kind of secure it down. So it does look a little bit crazy because your strings are long. That's where the scissors come in. So you can kind of just, I'm gonna show you this one so you can kind of see. We leave them a little bit long, like halfway. But if you want them shorter, that is up to you. I'll just snip those off. Okay, so you should have 3 buttons in your kit. I'm gonna use the biggest button for my biggest pumpkin and then just smallest on the smallest pumpkin. I'm just gonna use a little piece of the hot glue, just a little dot behind the raffia. Push that down. And then I'm gonna kind of position my strings down so that they're not too crazy to the side. And then obviously be careful because it's hot. Ouch. And then I'm just gonna glue a little bit of the hot glue on the button and stick that right in the middle. Hold it down a few seconds and then I'm gonna do my other 2. This button is small, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put the little drop of hot glue on the pumpkin in the middle of the tie. Okay, and then I'm just gonna shop these little strings. Super cute, so fun and easy. And they're self-standing, so if you want to keep them on the mantle or on a bookshelf, you can keep them all together, or you can definitely split them up and decorate different pieces or places in your house. So hopefully you guys like this video. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to email us. We are available all the time at info@shophandmadehome.com.